Towns will pick him up. Backpedals. Long shot! Tailed by McDaniels. Gafford!
I don't think we can say it enough, but when you're up against the two best closers in the league on the same team, you cannot let the game fall into their hands because they will shut you out. And that's exactly what happened. Luka and Kyrie combined for 66 points on 55% from the field and 48% from 3. Yet another offensive masterclass from this dynamic Dallas backcourt against the #1 defense in the NBA, proving that no team and nobody can stop them, not even the defensive player of the year, although that's no surprise. All series long, Rudy Gobert has been the target for the Mavericks and they continue to expose him. If he wasn't getting cooked on an ISO switch with Kyrie or Luka, he was getting dunked on inside.
Across the lane right over Gobert.
But Rudy's individual defense was only the start of the Timberwolves' problems. Before this series even started, I made it clear that the key deciding factor for Minnesota was the effectiveness level of the bigs on pick and roll actions. And once again, they have no answer. They tried blitzing, playing in drop, switching, even changing to a zone, and nothing works. In previous games, Minnesota was able to get away with giving up open threes to guys like PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr., but it's a known fact that role players shoot better at home, and that fact still stands as PJ and DJJ combined for 5 made threes on 67%. Here, Luka gets blitzed by Gobert and McDaniels. Ant covers Gafford on the roll, leaving Cat in a 2v1 situation. Luka passes to PJ and he swings to DJJ wide open in the corner. Again, Kyrie is blitzed, this time on the left side. With all the attention shifted over, DJJ is left wide open for another 3. The difference between this game and game 2 is what happens when Luka hits the big at the free throw line off of a blitz. In game 2, the big was able to make the correct kick out, but the 3 was not falling. This game, it was. Luka passes to Gafford on the roll, and this is the 2v1 that led to nothing before, but now ended in a PJ 3. And the success didn't end there because Minnesota's drop coverage and horrible individual matchups led to so many more problems. Here's Luka coming off of his screen from Gafford. Cat is playing in drop, essentially covering nothing. Luka has all the room to play make and throws the easy lob. Again, this time Kyrie is coming off the screen. Look how deep Gobert is in drop. Because of this, there is absolutely no resistance and Kyrie gets a practice warm-up 3. Now from the start of the game, Anthony Edwards ran away from the Kyrie matchup and took DJJ instead, but that leaves smaller Mike Conley stuck with Uncle Drew, and at that point, you might as well give Kyrie free points.
Remember, no Anthony Edwards.
Now, defensively, Luka Doncic continues to show how much he really wants this, racking up 5 steals, more than the entire Timberwolves team combined. And not only was he getting steals, he was doing all of the other little things, drawing charges and getting on the floor, forcing a jump ball. Hustle and defensive plays from your superstar player becomes infectious and role players can't help but follow. With Lively out, Gafford held down the paint by himself, especially in the 4th quarter. The closing stretch of this game was the biggest point of separation between these two teams. On the one side, you saw a team absolutely collapse, and on the other side, you saw a team thrive in the moment. With about 3.5 minutes left in the game, the score was tied at 104, and then the Mavs went on a 13-1 run, starting with yet another big-time corner 3 from PJ Washington. Here's Luka up top. As Gafford runs up to set a screen, take a look at Anthony Edwards. He tries to cheat the play by rotating over early and turns his back to the right side. Because of this, Luka passes to Kyrie early, and now Ant is stuck in no man's land, leading to the PJ 3. Following that 3 came a bucket from each of the closers over tight defense.
Be careful. Spins, fades, fires, hits. Towns will pick him up. Backpedals, long shot.
Finally, the play of the night.
Game 2, Conley will plummet into the paint, knocked away by Gafford.
And the very next possession, Luka up top, Gafford comes to set a screen. Gobert is back playing in drop coverage, asking to get dunked on, and well,
by McDaniels.
Both teams were shooting great from the field, recording 50+%, but the difference was the ability for each player to play their role. Karl-Anthony Towns puts up yet another stinker, 14 points on 28% from the field and 0% from 3. He's now 4 for 32 on threes in the series, just 12.5%. Numbers like that from your second scoring option will not lead to wins. I mean, Josh Green had more made threes and he only took one shot. So many other Timberwolves stepped up shooting well above their normal percentages, but when the opposing team is as well put together as the Mavs are, Minnesota has to be firing on all cylinders to win. Unlike Game 2, the first half felt like the Mavericks were not playing around. They came out of the gate strong and they showed the Timberwolves they mean business. In the third quarter, things started to get a bit shaky after Ant-Man had that ridiculous dunk.
Thank you. You're going to take me off the dunk of the year.
But unfortunately for Minnesota, they didn't build a lead to have a chance in the fourth quarter. Kyrie started to cook as he always does in the fourth quarter. The defense got better. I mean, the Timberwolves only scored 3 points in the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game. The turnovers could have used some work though. But anyways, all the things the Mavericks have been doing all postseason long showed up in this game. The role players stepped up, superstars destroyed the defense, and the clutch time was completely one-sided. The Mavericks are now up 3-0 and just 1 win away from the NBA Finals. Luka Doncic is 1 win away from his first ever finals appearance. And the craziest thing is, he's been injured for pretty much the entire playoffs. The Minnesota Timberwolves are a dangerous team, but the problem is, the Dallas Mavericks are their kryptonite. Luka and Kyrie have the abilities to fully decimate any defense no matter how elite. The Timberwolves' size has become completely irrelevant. Karl-Anthony Towns can't score, and Rudy Gobert is simply a player jogging up and down the court, providing nothing on the offensive end or defensive end. The only big doing anything is Naz Reid. And Anthony Edwards has proven that he can't be a two-way player, at least not now. He does not have the stamina to guard a guy like Kyrie on one end and score on the other. So far in this series, he has only shown his lack of ability to keep up with Kyrie and how bad he becomes on the offensive end when he tries to play two ways. Game 3, Ant-Man looked more like himself, but it was a result of running away from the matchup he said he will take. And as a result, he left Mike Conley stranded on Kyrie Island. Now the series shifts to Game 4. The Mavericks looked honestly the best they've been so far in this series, and they have shown their unbelievable ability to close out tight games. And it spread to more than just Luka and Kyrie. Gafford and PJ had contributed big time in the closing minutes. But we have to give props to Jason Kidd and the rest of the coaching staff because my goodness, they have done a fantastic job constantly making adjustments and adapting to new defenses thrown at them. They have overcome every single defense and matchup that the Timberwolves have tried, leaving them with absolutely no answer. Even with Derek Lively out, the Mavs ended up winning by a bigger margin than in games 1 and 2. An absolute coaching masterclass. But what did you guys think about Game 3? Will the Mavericks complete the sweep at home, or will the Timberwolves force a Game 5? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.